Rebirth is inevitable so long as one has desires. It is like taking the soul from one pillowcase and putting it into another. Only one or two out of many men can be found who are free from all desires. This world is moving around like a wheel. That indeed is the last birth in which one gets completely rid of all desires. Does one get faith by mere studying of books? Too much reading creates confusion. The Master used to say that one should learn from the scriptures that God alone is real and the world illusory. Why do people argue? Even the wisest of men have not found God through argument. Is God a subject for argument? What an illusion Mahamaya has conjured up. Here is this infinite world, and what one claims as his possession will be left behind at death. Still men cannot understand this simple truth. Don't be afraid. Human birth is full of suffering and one has to endure everything patiently, taking the name of God. None, not even God in human form, can escape the sufferings of the body and mind. Even avatars, saints, and sages have to undergo the ordeal of suffering, for they take upon themselves the burden of sins of omission and commission of ordinary human beings and thereby sacrifice themselves for the good of humanity. As long as a man has desires, there is no end to his transmigration. It is the desires alone that make him take one body after another. There will be rebirth for a man if he has even the desire to eat a piece of candy. No one can suffer for all time. No one will spend all his days on this earth in suffering. Every action brings its own result, and one gets one's opportunities accordingly. Such is life, here today, gone tomorrow. Nothing goes with one, except one's merit and demerit. Good and evil deeds follow one even after death. Certainly you will have doubts. There will be questionings and faith will return again. That is how faith is established. Give up this dry discussion, this hodgepodge of philosophy. Who has been able to know God by reasoning? Even sages like Sukha and Vyasa are at best like big ants trying to carry away a few grains of sugar from a large hiya. God cannot be realized without love. Yes, sincere love. The whole world is a dream, even this, the waking state, is a dream. What you dreamt last night does not exist now. A person may have no relatives anywhere, but Mahamaya may make him keep a cat and thus make him worldly. This is how she plays. If you do a good act, it cancels the effects of your evil deeds. If one prays, takes the name of God and thinks of Him, the effects of evil are cancelled. The creation itself is full of griefs. How can one understand joy if there is no sorrow? And how can everyone be happy at the same time? Each has to get the results of the actions he earned for this life. A pin at least must prick where a wound from a sword was due. Saradadevi Quotes 1853–1920 Saradadevi, 1853–1920, born Saradamani Mukhopadhyay, 1, was the wife and spiritual counterpart of Ramakrishna Paramhamsa, a 19th-century mystic of Bengal. Saradadevi is also reverentially addressed as the Holy Mother. Saradadevi played an important role in the growth of the Ramakrishna movement. You see, my son, it is not a fact that you will never face dangers. Difficulties always come, but they do not last forever. You will see that they pass away like water under a bridge. There is no treasure equal to contentment and no virtue equal to fortitude. However strong or beautiful this body may be, its culmination is in those 3 pounds of ashes. And still people are so attached to it. Glory be to God. Open your grief-stricken heart to the Lord. Weep and sincerely pray, O Lord, draw me towards you, give me peace of mind. By doing so constantly you will gradually attain peace of mind. Is faith so cheap, my child? Faith is the last word. If one has faith, the goal is practically reached. No doubt, God alone has become all these objects, animate and inanimate, but in the relative world all beings act and suffer according to their past karma and innate tendencies. Desire may be compared to a minute seed. It is like a big banyan tree growing out of a seed, which is no bigger than a dot. We have to surrender ourselves completely to the Lord with faith and devotion in Him, serve others to the best of our capacity, and never be a source of sorrow to anybody. He who thinks always of the Lord, which way can evil come to him? He who will pray to God eagerly will see Him. If one calls upon Him repeatedly, He becomes compassionate, and so a devoted attachment comes into being. This love for love's sake should be hidden from all eyes. In the course of time one does not feel even the existence of God. After attaining enlightenment one sees that gods and deities are all Maya. People complain about their griefs and sorrows and how they pray to God but find no relief from pain. But grief itself is a gift from God. It is the symbol of His compassion. Even the impossible becomes possible through devotion. The Mother of the universe is the mother of all. From her have come out both good and evil. The grace of God is the thing that is needful. One should pray for the grace of God. Realization of God cannot be achieved without ecstatic love for Him. My son, forbearance is a great virtue, there's no other like it. The happiness of the world is transitory. The less you become attached to the world, the more you enjoy peace of mind. The world is going on because not all can be free of desires. People with desires are born again and again. He who has really prayed to the Master, even once, has nothing to fear. By praying to him constantly one gets ecstatic love, prema bhakti, through his grace. After someone finished her sweeping and threw the broom into a corner, Saradamani, mother, on seeing this said, "How strange, my dear. The work is finished, and you throw it away carelessly. It takes almost the same time to put it away slowly and carefully as to throw it away. Should you despise a thing just because it is insignificant? Him that you save, saves you in turn. Won't you need it again? Besides, this thing too forms a part of our household. From that point of view also it deserves some consideration. You must give each one his due share of honor. Even a broom must be shown some honor. The smallest work must be done with reverence. Through japa and austerity the bondage of karma is cut asunder, but God cannot be realized except through love and devotion. The mind is everything. It is in the mind alone that one feels pure and impure. A man, first of all, must make his own mind guilty, and then alone can he see another man's guilt. If you want peace, do not see the faults of others. Rather see your own faults. Learn to make the whole world your own. No one is a stranger, my child. The whole world is your own. One must live carefully. Every action produces its results. It is not good to use harsh words towards others or be responsible for their suffering. One who makes a habit of prayer will easily overcome all difficulties and remain calm and unruffled in the midst of the trials of life. Whatever you yearn for, that you will get. If a man does a trifle for me, I try to remember him even for that. To see the faults of others, one should never do it. I never do so. Forgiveness is tapasya. The mind keeps well when engaged in work. And yet japa, meditation, prayer also are specially needed. You must at least sit down once in the morning and again in the evening. That acts as a rudder to a boat. When one sits in meditation in the evening, one gets a chance to think of what one has done good or bad during the whole day. Next one should compare the states of one's mind in the preceding day and the present. Unless you meditate in the mornings and evenings along with work, how can you know what you are actually doing? As wind removes the cloud, so the name of God destroys the cloud of worldliness. Once a devotee forgot how to count the repetitions of the mantra on his fingers. Mother said, "What does it matter?" The purpose of all this is to direct the mind towards God. One must live carefully. Every action produces its results. It is not good to use harsh words towards others or to be responsible for their suffering. Should anyone ever utter a thing that hurts another's feelings? An unpleasant truth, though true, must not be uttered. For that grows into a habit. By indulging in rude words one's nature becomes rude. One's sensitivity is lost if one has no control over one's speech. And once a man casts all consideration for other to the winds, he stops at nothing. One suffers as a result of one's own actions. So, instead of blaming others for such sufferings, one should pray to the Lord and, depending entirely on His grace, try to bear them patiently and with forbearance under all circumstances. My child, I bless you from my heart that you live long, attain devotion, and enjoy peace. Peace is the principal thing. One needs peace alone. As long as a man has desires, there is no end to his transmigration. It is the desires alone that make him take one body after another. There will be rebirth for a man if he has even the desire to eat a piece of candy. The difference between a great soul and an ordinary man is this: the latter weeps while leaving this body, whereas the former laughs. Death seems to him a mere play. Pray to God with tears in your eyes whenever you want illumination or find yourself faced with any doubt or difficulty. The Lord will remove all your impurities, assuage your mental anguish, and give you enlightenment. We suffer as a result of our own actions. It is unfair to blame anybody for it. Let me tell you how to love all equally. Do not demand anything of those you love. If you make demands, some will give you more and some less. In that case you will love more those who give you more and less those who give you less. Thus your love will not be the same for all. You will not be able to love all impartially. Everything, husband, wife, or even the body, is only illusory. These are all shackles of illusion. Unless you can free yourself from these bondages, you will never be able to go to the other shore of the world. When one realizes God, He grants knowledge and illumination from within. One knows it oneself. In the fullness of one's spiritual realization one will find that He who resides in one's heart, resides in the hearts of others as well, the oppressed, the persecuted, the untouchable, and the outcast. Don't puzzle the mind with too many inquiries. One finds it difficult to put one single thing into practicing, but dares invite distraction by filling the mind with too many things. People complain about their griefs and sorrows and how they pray to God but find no relief from pain. But grief itself is a gift from God. It is the symbol of His compassion. Sarada Devi, born Kshmankari/Thakuramani/Saradamani Mukhopadhyay, was the wife and spiritual consort of Sri Ramakrishna, a 19th century Hindu mystic and saint. Sarada Devi is also reverentially addressed as the Holy Mother, Sri Sri Ma, by the followers of the Sri Ramakrishna monastic order. Sri Sarada Devi or Sri Sri Ma is one of the notable woman saints and mystics of the 19th century. These Sarada Devi quotes will motivate you. I tell you one thing. If you want peace of mind, do not find fault with others. Rather learn to see your own faults. Learn to make the whole world your own. No one is a stranger, my child, this whole world is your own. Sarada Devi.